Well, rock and roll, hey?
Rock and
Rocking and rolling.
as they say.
I mean, that was quite another upbeat song, but before we went into that, you was talking about that grey zone, that grey area, and I suppose the title of Black and White Town probably says everything. So talk us a bit through that. What was going on?
The song is a banger. Like, I remember first hearing this song when I was maybe like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 years old or something like that, playing FIFA. But back then, the meaning was so different to what it is now. For me, the Black and White Town, it kind of, as I continued my drinking and going out and being sociable, I found myself like forgetting things or like waking up and going, what did I get up to last night? What did I do with myself?
Yeah.
Like, what bar was that? Who was I with? And I'd have to text mates of mine being like, oh, did you get home okay? What did we get up to last night and all that? Right. And I'd be in such a confused state. So for me, that kind of black and white town, is very, it feels quite ambiguous. Like, I kind of felt in a bit of a haze almost, like, really.
So how often was that then? How often were you going out, let's say, on the weekly, to just so everyone gets a understanding of that?
I mean, 4 times a week, 3 times a week usually.
Okay. Bloody hell, yeah.
So, not excessive, but certainly for me, like, I felt that, well, I really am going deep into this. So often it would be like a Thursday night at some like expat meetup, and then Friday night it would be out in the lash in the town, and then Saturday night it would be the same. And then Sunday would come round and then I'd be like, oh, crikey, what happened, or whatever like that. And then throughout the week I'd be like knocking it back as well. Yeah. Monday, maybe Tuesday or whatever like that, and maybe go and have a few pints at the pub or something, you know, like, so for me it became quite a routine, like, hi, let's just go to the pub.
Yeah. So it obviously became more of a social need then, like a social interaction, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, like, it became necessity almost. And I didn't really think I had a problem with alcohol. I felt like, I could just stop whenever. But on top of it, I think a lot of it, I was trying to bottle stuff down, and being in a social situation for me allowed me to just bottle that down. And the alcohol obviously was part of that. But what I didn't realise is what perhaps maybe my body was becoming dependent on that. Because I was in a social setting, so I just associate the two as one. And
so there was like this like bubbling feeling, just suppose, coming up, and then the more you put stuff on top, it just, like alcohol, just numbed it back down again, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I was in a bad place at the time. I came out of a relationship that was, I don't want to badmouth it, but was difficult, was a challenge for me mentally and emotionally. And so, as I said, going back to this freedom thing, like, I felt like I could just be the person who I wanted to be. I didn't need to have that anxiety of someone telling me, this is wrong, or this is making me feel upset or anxious. I just could concentrate on myself.
Yeah.
But with that, I didn't really think of the baggage that came with that. And so alcohol was a really good way of just being like, hi.
So was you using alcohol then to like numb the pains, or would you say you was using alcohol to essentially become the person you thought you were?
I'd say it's actually more a little bit of numbing, but then also elevated me a little bit. I felt like, brilliant, I can be the Liam I want to be in a certain way.
Yeah.
But I'm always very true to myself. Like, I think most people that know me would probably agree that I'm very, I don't change colours, spots, stripes. I'm just Liam. So I think people can see that. But it might have been a confidence thing because I came out of a relationship that was hard, and I was trying to boost myself back up to before that, and I really couldn't really remember who I was before that in certain respects. So this was like a quick
rediscovery.
Exactly. So it was a hard time, and alcohol really became involved in everything that I did because I'm so social. So they went hand in hand almost. So it was like, we're going for a beer, we're going for some food. Yeah, I'll have a beer with food, or we're going out to sit at the beach. I'll bring some drinks with me.
Yeah,
and that kind of. And so obviously looking back on now, you look at it and you go, crikey, like, Liam, calm down. But at that moment, I wasn't, because I was doing my own thing. I was like, it's summer. It's, it's especially us for in Finland, weather isn't exactly the kindest, right?
Yeah.
So summer, you're out, you're celebrating, you're with mates, you're with, you know, like good weather, good company. You want to go out and enjoy yourself. You want to go out and spend as much time as possible.
Living in the moment, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because winter comes back around, it's freezing. Nobody really is bothered about going out. It's all, you know, very enclosed. And so, yeah, you find yourself just socialising. Like, in my case, like, not even over-socialising, probably, maybe I'm being too kind to myself, probably over-socialising.
So going back to then, like, the grey area then, what about the next day? This, like, I mean, I'm not a heavy drinker anymore. I mean, even a couple of beers sends me a bit skew with the next day. So, I mean, what were those days, the morning afters like for you then, on 4 nights a week?
Mental. Like, I wouldn't know I would wake up with my clothes on, I'd wake up on the couch.
Right.
I'd wake up, like, confused where I was the night before. A lot of confusion, a lot of wondering, and, crikey, a hell of a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, tons. To the point where it's like you're thinking you're having a mini panic attack and stuff like that.
So what did that, like, feel like to you then, those, like, anxiety moments?
Horrible. Like, absolutely devastating, debilitating. Anyone with anxiety and depression will probably adhere to that and know what I'm talking about. You just feel like you can't do anything.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to describe that to a friend or friends who don't know what that is. And so for me, I just felt housebound in a way.
Right.
And I would often find myself like napping on the couch, just sleeping in the day because I had no work.
Yeah.
So I didn't have anything to get up for.
Right.
So per se, I was just sort of like in between jobs, and so I'd wake up and then be like, it would hit me, and I'd feel terrible, and I need to eat, I need to do this, and then the cycle continues again because you're like, no, I need to get out of the house because all I'm doing is staying in these 4 walls, and then you end up with cabin fever, and so that was the cycle for me. So
then to get out of that, like, grey area the next day, let's say, your resolution was then to go out and drink.
essentially,
Feel the confidence again and...
absolutely, not even just feel the confidence, but like just get out of doing what I would be doing is nothing. Sitting in here on my phone, on social media, or on the computer, or playing guitar, or...
Yeah.
I mean, my only saving grace, I could say, is probably the gym. I was going to the gym a lot.
Right.
So I had some form of remedy, and then football as well. I was playing football often, so that would be like, okay, I was keep me active. But I mean, that was like all I had really booked in, so to speak. You know, like I was just going out, and it was, you would just shrug it off because you'd be like, whatever, I'm fine.
I'll deal with it another day.
Exactly. One of my always sayings is, future Liam will deal with that, which is a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah, I feel you.
So that was the trick, and I just get worse and worse to the point where you're just like, you don't even want to leave the house and stuff like that. And it's a tricky time for me living far away from family and friends, so the drinking just continued.
I mean, this is all sounding like it's building up, you know, quite a lot here. But before we get into that nitty-gritty a bit further and the next steps, what happened to that Liam, let's say, in that present day, you got a song for us to get us into the next talking points.
I do indeed. Really famous band, British band called The Verve, and a song that's quite appropriate called The Drugs Don't Work. And it's one of those songs that just sort of really hit home for me when I was thinking about what tracks that I really think portray that time for me. And this one is definitely one of those. It's a really sort of sobering, funnily enough, sobering song that is, you know, really hit home to me and kind of makes sense because it didn't work. The alcohol didn't work.
Well, classic.
Yeah. So let's get into it. Let's listen to some
bang it on
bangers. See.